Hey there, Joy of the World, friends and family. Ready to add a little freak to your Friday? Well, that's what this week is called, Freaky Friday. So I got out some freaky deaky decks. You know that means the Mary L is going to be showing up. We might even have a little bit of the tarot sexual magic showing up, even though I cannot show them to you because it's sexually explicit images. It's not just nudity. There are things going on in there that might put the power suggestion on your mind. We're going to have an angel layering coming in, and maybe even, I don't know what these are called, but they're like divine masculine something. So there's lots of masculine power and mystery showing up today. But we are stepping into the month of October. October is very mysterious, but it's talking about ripe intimacy showing up. Think of all the colors of gold and orange and brown and red showing up, drawing down to that earth and that time of coziness and warmth and passion. No matter where you live, it's stepping into that shift. It's ripe and it is ready to be received. So with that, we are going to, as you know, I pre-shuffle, but we are going to step in here and find out what's going on for us here at Joy of the World. Now, in the pre-shuffle, this deck was showing up some discs. 6 a disc, 7 a disc. It had some spice, some like hot steamy, and then leave it to you to bring this, verdant 3 of Cups. Joy, we want to grow, we want to learn. I'm like, don't you be tricking me now. I saw everything underneath the surface that you were talking about. Let's bring it up out into the forefront. Maybe that's part of what being freaky is, meaning it's not typical, it's atypical, it's rebellious, it isn't mainstream. But let's talk about what needs to be talked about here at Joy of the World, because these are energy sessions that help us level up to live our best, bold, bright life right now. Nothing hidden, nothing shameful. There it is. Boom. I told you. I was like, I said, well, if you want to talk, you better come out in the reading. And we got some, talk about there like, some heart, focusing on the heart. You got some freaky deaky going on up in there, some telepathy, some connection. You talking about some streams of life, some divinity and divine permission for connection. Okay. I think that's a really good starting space. So I'm going to pop these out in layers because of what I see happening. On the surface, down beneath. Okay, so that's what I see. That's down below, and then this is in the middle. All right, making sense. And then we'll see what else comes out along in the reading. No promises on those other cards. I don't even know, but you said get them ready, and I'm like, word up. So as you saw, we had the 3 of Cups coming in, but we also have the 8 of Swords. You know, I am an intuitive reader. I do not read them based on click words, right? I read them based on the visualizations coming forth here to empower you into the state of where you're at. Or why would I choose different decks? I would just use the same deck every time. So we're stepping into this 8 of Swords power. So, oh man, it's intense. So it's about the mind, body, and soul getting on the same page because they have been running dry. People might see you as flourishing. They might wish for what you have. They might even be envious of you, but you are feeling dry, burned out, worn out, washed up. You're done with that stream. You're done with that way of maintaining all this. For some of you, it is a shift from something that's high maintenance. Like I live in a place where everything outside is, well, aside from the hurricane, everything else outside is taken care of because I had done caretaking for so long. I had been in the Empress energy for so long. Nurturing other people's children would just suck and draw to me if we were all on vacation. And before I know it, I'm back in that Empress energy. But your way of refreshing and reviving isn't going to quite look like the typical. Okay, friend? So you're being invited into this magical garden, this garden of intuitive intrigue is what you're talking about, because if you'll look, the stone placements around here are inscribed with runes, and as you'll notice, it's beckoning you in. This gate that others aren't allowed to enter is opening for you. It's waiting for you, but it's already showing me a leap and a jump. Like when you play, it's definitely itching. When you play board games, and sometimes you can the get out of jail free, or go forward 10 spaces, or jump to the red space. It'll help you advance well beyond what any sequence of the cards could do. It goes beyond the potential of the cards. It goes beyond the potential of what you've been dealt. It is superseding, and it is magical. It is a power of permission card coming in. because I see it already jumping in up here, moving past the green because you're wanting to step into the gold. You're wanting to go into that form of alchemy, bypassing the red and the white magic, which equals green, which requires work and tediousness. And like this part of you is exhausted and so tired that you're wanting to step into the alchemy, the resourcing of who and where you are, your divinity, of where you all come from, what you've already plotted and planned when you divined yourself before you even arrived. You're wanting to step into the rehousing. Some of you are moving, baby, rehousing, resourcing of where you are and where you've been. Realigning that with your today, your nowness. That sometimes being ascendant and being enlightened can be focusing on yourself. It can be minimizing more of your output and more of your obligations to be more self-focused, more centralized, should we say, because that's about being very solar. And I see that the flame, the light, then cutting on in your house, in your tower, in your PINNACLE, your pinnacle, your zenith, your high point, your high life. You're going to live your high life, baby. So that's what's on the surface. Everybody else will be sitting there like, what? Why you do? Why? I wish I had that. I wish, and just be like, just mentally, not verbally, but be like, step off. I bet they do. But this is no longer for me. I'm ready to move on. And maybe when I move on, then you can step in. It'll be just right for you. And then you'll get tired of it too, just like I did. That's kind of what you're saying here secretly, people. So it's a lot because y'all got my nose on a fire, itching like crazy. But you're ready for love. You're ready for the true divine love, the unctuous love, not the love that's just been overly cultivated. Like cultivating grapes brings about, fascination and deliciousness. But when you cultivate roses, it creates weakness. There's no fragrance, and then there are no thorns on them. They're empty. But this is like, ooh, there's a little wild rose down there for me, calling me in. I can smell the fragrance from this side. I think I just might step through there, Joy. I think I just might. And I said, well, hey, here's coming the Hierophant, giving you permission to do it. See the Caduceus, the unrolling of the scrolls, the unfurling of the ages, because remember, you opened your divinity here. That's you wanting to step from the green into the gold, is you descending and ascending at the same time. It is the golden thread and the full connection onto yourself, the power of your permission, of the knowingness, of trusting that whole alignment of all the eyes that get talked about in the Scorpio readings. Your intelligence, your imagination, your instincts, that sort of thing, and it unfolding and opening the languages of all time. When things supersede language, it steps into the vision, the something that we all share, and it begins to create that cosmic destination that you're talking about, and it gets you in alignment with your destiny, that hidden destiny, that thing that you've known inside, even though you lived a different life outwardly. You lived a life that looked more refined, it looked more in line with typical hopes and dreams and going about things the way we should. It wasn't quite so spicy, racy, saucy. You like, spring it up, Joy. Spring it up. We are ready. Tell us, crack the code. Give us the language, the permission. I'm like, I don't have to. Hierophant stepped on in to do it and said, read the scrolls. Read your mind. Some of you take a break and read the back of your eyelids. Go take a nap. Go take a nap in the sunshine while the weather's still warm. The sun is calling you. It wants to shine upon you. We've been treated taught to believe that the sun is so poisonous and bad for us, but we forgot that's where vitamin D comes from. And if you need vitamin D, let me tell you, it's most potent prior to 10 a.m. And the place we absorb it the most is on the inside of our forearms and on our belly as well. So just a little note of health there for self, but the sun is calling you. The sun loves to see you as much as you love the sunshine. But you have been hemmed in, trapped in for a while, and you didn't even know. And some of you have lost that fervency for your native connection of where you come from, the raw, pure passion, the true nature of magic, not the divining of magic nor the working of it, but the naturalness, the magic, the cosmicness of life that is afforded here on earth, the warmth of the sunshine, the smell of fresh baked bread, the aroma of coffee, if that's something you like. Remember the fragrance of the roses. Okay, so you're talking about the somatic system, our sense of smell. And that's strongly connected to our intimacy, our sexuality, our treasury, that divine connection going on down there, which is what you were kicking off with October, about it being like that pumpkin. It's round and it's abundant. You open it inside, it's empty because it's a container and a vessel for light, for your divinity. And you like, straight up, Joy. And I'm like, that's why you link in it and you connect it, and causing my nose to itch to go along with this 7 of disc down here. Look at all these balls of light that you carry. The power of the planets you have harnessed, and it's in your hand. You are a mighty, majestic mountain, and you are immovable. You are the only one who can move you. You're determined and you're self-assured. You're able to move forward in the power and the presence and the knowledge of who you are. Because as you move through the Hierophant, you've begun to read the backs of your eyelids, reading them scrolls, right? Taking some time to go on through your mindset, knowing who you are. And you've been able to move on from that despite the resistance and the judgment and like the hemming and the hawing and the whatever else, the nitpicking for some of you. Oh God, talk about being henpecked, wearing you out. You're moving forward like a mighty mountain. I hear Jack Sprat. Go on in. Could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, but betwixt the both of them, they lick the platter clean. You're like, I want to lick the platter clean. I've seen this side of life. I'm ready for this side. I'm ready to come to balance and to step into my wholeness. And then it's like, yeah, of course you are. And so you mount up onto your mighty owl. The power of permission of death, resurrection, transformation, transcendence, moving beyond. It's the power of the knowingness that when we step forward and we know that we know that we know, and we move in that, that's what this card is about. And that's why it's the no holds barred. I'll do whatever I have to do to embody myself, to bring forth my heart, my power, and my passion, because I give myself permission. That's the gateway of your heart. It's you aligning your whole self, going, I don't need anybody else. I'm of age. I don't need their insight, their input, their clout. They're crowding me out. There's a little, you getting spicy now. You're like, I have all the wisdom I need. I trust myself. That's the wisdom I sought. That's the wisdom I need. That is what has happened here. I embody who I am, and I trust myself. I learn and grow as I go. I am loving that. I am loving that. So I think we'll wait on those just for a minute. We're going to get some divine power, some of the divine masculine coming in on this. We're going to step into some action, some assistance. For our Freaky Friday. Bring us some freaky help, some freaky, okay. Ooh, Toth, wisdom. Didn't we just say that? Did we not just say that? Look at this. Talk about wielding your power. I mean, y'all, we can just do it. Look closely here. Do you see the power between those thighs? Talk about the colors of the harvest. Talk about October. Talk about the embodiment, because even Toth here, totally the darker skin, the moving into the winter months, what would seem dark and devious and looming is really creative and inspiring and impactful for you. And you're like, yes, Lord. You're like, it's awakening my gold. I've awakened this chamber and I've opened it up. I'm already dreaming and imagining how I'm going to enjoy myself, how I'm going to be outdoors, enjoying the sunshine, the trips, the travel, the riding in my car, the reading the back of my eyelids, whatever it is, the things that empower you and embolden you because you know who you are. Here you've taken the Hierophant scrolls, because this is like earthly authority. This is like cosmic, heavenly, above earth authority. It's the full connection of the two, okay? It's the return of self, of your full energy. But you see, all of that has been unfurling and unfolding for some time. Is put together. And wisdom, really the action, remember they're bringing forth the action here, is when it's put into a sequence and into an order, into a formula, then we can follow it. And this formula isn't for everybody else. This is you. This is yours. This is you understanding not just what you're made of, but how you operate as well. Because like obedience is a two-force factor. It's doing what you're told, but also doing it when you're told it. Opportunity is a two-force factor as well. Well, wisdom is here also. Knowing what you're made of and knowing how you operate. Fantastic. Talk about, I'm like, that's right. That's right. Come on, people here, enjoy the world. I love that. And you're like, no one will ever put a ring in my nose again and take my power and lead me around for their benefit. Because the thing is that is out of line. That is usurpitous earth energy of disempowering other people, of using people against themselves. I do not like that at all, but you've taken it as become an emblem of your own authority and your own power, is what was once used to lead you around and afford others to leverage your potential. That's called extraction. Okay, that's called coercion. Those are not healthy vibrational energies, and that's not how we're put in this world to operate. But we didn't know. I didn't know. We're here to be in our true self and to be in our own divine power, because it is given generously and freely, and only then that those who partake of it actually thrive, flourish, and grow in their best self. Otherwise, it's throwing off the balance of the forces from life into not life. Okay. We'll say that when my son was little, he taught me. It's funny, my stick has been sitting here turning backwards. So if you look, if it's forward, it's live. If it's backwards, it's evil. Simple concept from when I think he was 4 years old. So when we get it backwards, when it's being led around, it's being coerced out of us, it is evil. It's not for the good. It's not for life. It is the opposing force of life. And that doesn't mean the natural death that occurs, the cycles of the earth. No, that is like spinning the earth backwards. That's like what Superman came to fight. He's like, excuse me, you're not going to mess our world order up here, right? And so it's keeping it going and flowing in the proper direction. There's a facilitation. Okay. Angel Larian, we love you. Thank you for showing up here. I know, we got 2 cards. Okay, we got a dynamic duo coming in, Zadkiel and Lele. We got Lele coming in, the angel of night and the angel of mercy, because mercy is a force that thrives in the night. It thrives in what we would call mistakes, learning curves, difficulties. Some would call it failure, but the thing is, it's never seen as such. It's seen as resets, restarts, regrouping. It's seen as hindsight becoming foresight. It seems as an empowering energy, and I feel like this is very much Mars and Pluto showing up now, as they did all week in the reads. They're coming forth and they're saying, reframe it, see it as we see it. That's the wisdom, that is the power to know that we're here to empower you. We're here to bring about your life, your best self, that nothing will be leading you around by the nose anymore. Because in order for one to be empowered, another should not have to be disempowered. They don't work with coercion and exploitation and things like that. They're very much positive. They're saying individualistic type forces, right? So this is vibrating in the level of joy. You've heard me talk about love. Love is like a collective experience. It's a collective energy that comes through, but the force that lives up above it, the higher octave of love, is joy, because joy is the individuation of it. Like what brings someone else joy is different than what brings the person down the street, right? But love is the force that does it all. It is the kind of like the stem cell, right? And then it becomes personalized for you. Well, that's the wisdom that they're bringing forth here. And as we rest, we receive. As we go to sleep, we regroup, we regain, and then we're able to move forward. Because look at that tremendous balance and the power of the dragon. Dragon is what they keep talking about this week, the dragon. It was about the eye and the pelvis very much coming forth. And then Zadkiel with all the mystery of weaving it all together in the divinity, in the ways. Remember, because we were talking about wisdom, not just knowing who you are, but knowing how you operate. Over time, it's when we try what we know and we apply it, and maybe it didn't go quite the way we liked. Maybe it's even like doctoring a recipe to tweak it towards your taste and your proclivities and your personality. That's very much what the mercy is here, is giving yourself permission, that learning curve, that ability, that margin to live, learn, and grow, and to refine yourself. And also they're talking about don't forget to change over time, to evolve over time. And so for some of you, I'm hearing right now, that's more of a dissolving and ending of a relationship. Also ending of a mindset of a particular relationship. One relationship's like lover, marriage, that type of thing. Another one, the idea of relationship is more familial type of how things should go. Maybe you as the child are more the parent than the parent is, and just letting it go, not trying to make it flip the tide or turn the tide, because it's affording you some abilities that you had divined before you even got here. I mean, look at that stroke of power going on down there, baby. That is right. That is right. Let me see if they want to talk. So I see we're going to get, this is going a little bit longer, but they're wanting a mystical dream tarot to come in. So we're going to do one of those to see how they're wanting to turn the tide on this and to really apply it to you. Because this has been a lot of background information. I want another one here. Okay, thank you. I could see it. Background information, 13 Wise Fox. Doing the dance to death. It's like a dirge. It's like coming on in. But let me tell you, I love some music that comes in minors and some that dum dum dum. because even like Jaws didn't. I mean, everything in us percolates and it grabs our attention. It's an attention grabber. And that's what's happening here. It's an attention grabber. But the thing is there's so much more to what's going on. So I would say don't get totally trifled in it, totally wrapped up or bound up by it, because there is more. It's going to be a moment, going to be a day. But, give yourself that moment. Give yourself that day to just live in the pajamas and to sleep on in, or to go for an endless, meaningless drive that you don't even know where you're going, or to be like, what is this all about? Oh my God, I can't believe, am I stupid? Am I crazy? Am I whatever? Because they're all like, Zach is like, baby, I got mercy for you. Ask all those questions. And Toth and I will put it all together. We'll put it all in order, because as you begin pulling that stuff out of your bag, unpacking the skeletons out of your closet, we're going to let you know which bone's connected to the thigh bone, which bone's connected to the knee bone, and we're going to put flesh back on you. And then you'll dance the divine dance of love, and you'll move forward in that curiosity. You'll be imbibing in joy before you know it. So the sister card that came out with is the Three of Wands, and to me, this is very much the marital card. It's the courting, the union, the commitment, the communion. And sometimes our eyes can be drawn to the rocks or the hard places, but they're not actually there unless you want to stub your toe, unless you want to go sit on it, unless you want to feel the hardness as opposed to the softness of the earth. There really aren't any bondages, bounding, or blockages. There isn't any death or decay. It's all how you see it. But when you have someone by your side that y'all are connected, you're complementary, there's no competition, contention, striving, any of that. You set that energy aside and you let the divine ancient knowing, like this, the scarab beetle is very much reiterating a Thoth type energy here, allowing the respite of the winter, allowing the comfort of the drama-free moments to really open up the heavens for you as you move forward and you step into this union of this new mindset of this relationship with others and with yourself. Okay, now they are ready for the Sexual Magic Tarot. We gotta get a little bit of this going on out of here. Let's get a little bit and maybe a rune. Let's see what we've got here for our freaky Friday. Come on, baby, talk to me. What have we got here for our joy to the world people that are tuning in today? That is too much. The one in my hand. Well, since we got the 7 of discs going on up here, we got Thoth yielding that magic wand. Now we have the Knave of Wands. So I can't actually show you this one because the clothes are on. You got some background passion going on, some things that may not have been addressed. For some of you, remember it was that relationship ending. Because give yourself the grace. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, if it's already there and you're already aware, give yourself the grace to be true to who you really are, to be true to what that is. Because when we force ourselves or we coerce even ourselves, our own energy, it's good for no one. Remember that ring in the nose? It's good for no one. And it actually prevents the other party and the other person from moving forward to where they're divine to be at this time. Because remember, there was this greater eye, this greater wisdom, this knowledge and this understanding of all time that was already here from before we even began. This is pineal, it's the pine cone, it's Dionysus, it's about the fruit, the grape, the cultivation, the wildness. It's about all of it coming together. So they're saying, please reserve judgment of yourself. Please reserve the judgment of yourself. But they're saying, life doesn't flourish when we force and when we coerce. Okay? So take some time, remember to read the backs of your eyelids to allow what's connected to what, not just who you are, but how you operate. And as you do, it will begin to refine the relationships that you are in. Because some of them might just need, remember, that reforming and that revising. They might need that fresh start, that type of thing. That's not for me to know. But you definitely will know. Can you see that? You definitely will know. All right? So give yourself the freedom in the heart. Remember here, to step forward into your heart. Give yourself that freedom to step in and enjoy this season, this autumn, this fall coming in. And let your hair down. It's not just about her hair. That hair is about our glory. Let your beauty shine. Let who you are shine. Because we've been living, remember, in this static, stagnant world of like, this is acceptable and good. This is what everyone desires. This is what it's like, psst, psst. They're like whapping up on that. Remember, Todd was like smacking up on that. It's like, didn't I already tell you who you are? Don't you know what you're about? That's kind of what's going on. There's some bum smacking going on. It's like, look, The tree of life, what causes you to flourish? What causes you to open up? What brings you pleasure? Okay? That's what's important to face here, friends, and to note. Okay? So talk about a little freaky. Remember, it's the bit of rebellion. We're here to talk about our truth because we want our truth to supersede our reality. That is when the divine, talk about the divine oracle of life actually works. All right. So we're talking about going both ways, the energetic connection of defense. Beneficial delay. Let me show it to you first. See it? Now, some of you where I live, they keep things up all the time. So they're always working on something, just keeping things fresh, progressive, and new. And often you'll see this on the ground. It's some markings of the electrical company of energy exchange. All right. Remember what were we seeing over here? Energy exchange. Beware who you exchange your energy with because it is an exchange. They get what's yours and you get left with what's theirs. So make sure what is theirs is worth having in you. Okay? So beneficial delays, stay neutral, trying time, decide, be clear, and right action. But we could already feel the ripples of that under our feet, right? And it doesn't mean be defensive. Remember, it is to know, just like this gate, your mindset, to begin to know your mindset. And that defense is to give yourself that permission, right? That permission to be empowered, to be true to who you are, and to walk out the wisdom of your calling in this life, in this moment of the now, in the here today, okay? And yes, gone tomorrow. So trust yourself. Take the time. 3 little birds up there saying, don't worry, you see them, about a ting. Because every little ting's gonna be all right. This is Joy saying, hey friend, and let me clear that off. I love you. Hey, check back in with me next week. Talk soon. Bye.